The industry came to us about 10 or 12 years ago and said that look, other sports were using synthetic surfaces for their games, whether it was soccer, there was rugby union in England. We did some research, we appointed Federation University to do some studies for us and found out that yes, we could get a system that would comply to us and that we needed a product that was going to help us match our demand with our supply of ovals.
When we were asked to our approach to explore it as an option for Australian football and cricket, we first looked at or reviewed what the other sports were doing. So there was standards in existence for FIFA, for rugby union, etc. So we looked at those and then we tried to work out what the different characteristics of the games were that we were looking to develop standards for. So for example, with Australian football, they would have to land safely from marks, or for cricket, the way the ball rolled on the synthetic turf was really important. So we looked at those and then we conducted some testing on natural turf fields, right from elite level, the MCG, Etihad stadiums, down to community level and school grounds to establish how the natural turf was behaving and then tried to replicate that in the standards for synthetic turf.
You need the various levels to stabilise the ground. So you have your lower base, you have crushed rock, you have different ways of doing it. Sometimes they use recycled cement. But the important thing is to have a solid base that doesn't shift. Then you have the protection for the player, the shock pad. Sometimes it might feel hard, but it absorbs the shock. And then you've got the top layer, which is the grass fibre that we can see, the rubber infill to stop the friction as you go across it, and other things. So there's a whole range of levels that have to be managed and give the right answer to the top. So before any successful tenderer goes to a council and says we can build an AFL community ground, that product that they recommend to the council has to be endorsed by our people through our testing authority to make sure that it does comply with the standards, that it's up to the manufacturers to prove that their product does deliver what we say it should deliver.
Yeah, we've seen great demand for facilities across the country, particularly councils in growth areas, and synthetics are a great way for us to provide more facilities. Synthetics can take up to 3 times the use of a normal oval, so it's a great way to get more people playing cricket without using up more green space. And therefore you can get a lot more activity during the week and on weekends. The really important feedback at the end of the day is from the club players, and that feedback's been overwhelmingly positive. They're loving playing on synthetic surfaces, and that's, for us, that's the most important thing, that people are enjoying playing on the surface and they're getting a good experience.
I really like it. I think it's the closest synthetic surface I've experienced to grass. Obviously it's handy having it inside. It feels a lot like grass when you're running, when you're kicking, and I really enjoy the surface.
So initially I was a bit unsure of what the ground would be like. I was a bit concerned whether my boots wouldn't dig into the turf very well, or whether it'd just be too hard to feel. But my boots, the studs grip really well into the turf. Did a few tackling drills as well where your body's striking the ground and it absorbed the energy really well. I wasn't sore or anything after it. So yeah, those aspects of it were really positive.
When we first experienced it, we weren't too sure what to expect, to be honest. We're expecting obviously the ball doesn't roll or it's going to be too quick to play cricket on, but it's perfect. You can't complain. Like, you get value for shots and it's easy to dive on, fielding's perfect. So yeah, you couldn't ask for anything better.
Well, the ball playing true, obviously. The run-ups, that's a big deal being a bowler. Having a smooth run-up makes a massive difference as a bowler. Makes it a lot easier to pick it up, and you've got a lot of confidence in your fielding.
For the umpires, it is fantastic. We've been hearing thunderstorms, hailstones and everything. The kids are still out there running around and really enjoying it. They get wet, but there's no mud, and that's a perfect thing, and a lot of the parents are wrapped with that.
It's fantastic. It's really good. We can train on it all through the season. We don't have any issues with the wetness or slipping over or any dangerous aspects of it. It's great from a point of view. We can wear any sort of footwear. There's some that train in boots, some that train in runners, and neither of us find any issues about the sort of slipperiness. Haven't had any injuries that we know of. We've had other injuries, but nothing to do with the ground.
this surface here is great. You can wear your boots, you can wear your runners and really replicate what you do out on the field. This is my first year in the AFL, so I'm sort of open to trying anything really, and I think it could be something for the future.